was going to say, I have nothing. It was such a boring game.
Yeah, so we can just go right to Minnesota, Cincinnati when we get started here. So I got 3:00. Maybe we should kick this thing off. What do you guys think?
That's it. Let's get it. Let's get it kicked off. Let's go.
Are you cold? Man, you look like it looks like you're out there for a friggin' Alaska adventure, man.
That's it.
That's it. All I can see now is you behind a bunch of the dogs. That's
it.
In that thing. And by the way, if you're in one of that dog, make sure you're the lead dog, because if you're not the lead dog, you're going to have some accident put upon you. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I kept it clean.
You did, man, but I know where you're going. Yes, sir. NFL Nation Live, baby. Yes.
That's right.
Are we good to go?
Let's run it.
It's game day, baby. Let's go.
It is indeed game day. Welcome to NFL Nation Live, our Week 16 show. Appreciate your patience while we took a bye last week, but we're back with you all the way through the Super Bowl. I am Ref Guru, along with the Hall of Famer Wayne Violator Mabry, aka 57, and
aka Mr. Snuggle Bunny. God, keep him warm, man.
You got it.
That too, and the legendary pirate in short sleeves, Captain Jack. Well, that's pretty cool. That looks like a throwback 1977 design with the new logo on it. It's kind of cool. Not a new logo, but a different logo.
Well, it's the original. Well, actually, this is a great hat, but it's the original logo, but it's not the original logo. This should be a trivia question. What is not right about this original logo?
Well, there's two things.
I want to.
You got prizes?
I don't know. I'll have to ask the prize department, but probably.
We got prizes. We
got prizes. What the hell? We got prizes.
Yeah. Okay.
We got stinking prizes.
Right. Hey, we don't need no stinking badges. We got stuff to give away, damn it. I tell you what. Here. This is correct, but what is not correct about this original? I just was thinking about it while you were giving me a lot of platitudes and positives for it. This is great, but there's something that's NQR not quite right with this logo.
Okay. Well, good to know.
If you know, you know.
I can think of three things right off the top, but
yep. Okay.
All right, let's get to it. The Los Angeles Chargers win in Las Vegas. They got their ass handed to them by the Raiders. A team record, 63 points. It was 14-0 before anybody even had sat down yet. What a amazing game that was, especially if you're a Raiders fan, because in our lifetimes, and the three of us in particular go back a long ways for the Raiders, never seen them score that many points. That was awesome. Beat a division rival on top of that. You guys were at the game. Tell me, was there anything going on that was fun to watch?
The whole game was fun to watch, the whole game and the entertainment. But here's my take on that. That was if we thought that was a statement game, his first game, this one was really a statement about his job going into 2024.
I don't doubt that. In addition to all of that, we're going to get to the rest of this thing, but we got another intro to run here. So, Cap, I know you're liquored up, ready to go. Question?
I do say about liquor.
V's all bundled up. I think he's ready to go. What do you think? Violator, you ready to hit somebody?
I'm clocked in. Let's go.
Woohoo! Welcome, everyone, to NFL Nation Live, our Week 16 show. We're going to close the books on Week 15 and get you ready for Week 16, which starts tonight. But let's continue on. As we were talking in the green room and also prior to our intro, the Chargers went in and got bitch slapped by the Raiders.
They got ass whooped.
Yeah,
I can say that.
63-21. I was a little disappointed in two things. First of all, that they let the Chargers get 21 points, but I get that. Doesn't really matter. But 10 more points would have actually set the NFL record for most points ever scored in the NFL. But 63 was fine. We're good with that. Guys, tell me what was going on in the stadium. I mean, it was 14-0 and nobody even sat down yet. So what was it like where you were at?
Okay, well, since I was pointed to, I pointed to you first because I got to go behind the Hall of Famer. Go ahead, Wayne, please.
All right. Well, anyway, appreciate you, brother. Anyway, the house was rocking. There was an anticipation about this whole game, and even the Charger fans thought that it was going to be the upset by them. So I kind of enjoyed the banner back and forth. But once the ball was kicked off, I don't know what was said in the locker room between warm up and kickoff, but these guys came out white hot, went right down the field, and continued to make a statement throughout the game, maybe until the middle of the third when they kind of took their foot off the gas. Because, like you say, I was hoping for a blowout.
I didn't
a goose egg.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, obviously you guys were there, so I want to hear more about that. But that's got to be one of the more entertaining and fun to watch Raider games, maybe ever. Quite frankly, to get out to a lead like that and just keep churning it on. It seemed like we could really make no mistakes. I think the thing that was pretty hilarious about it from the officiating standpoint was you could tell that every time the official had to call something on the Chargers, he had this growl on his face like, you got to be kidding me, right?
Oh, please. Can I grab on that? Okay.
Go for it.
First off, I'm hey, this is a fan of the shows and for the refs and the things like that. Who is that fat bottom girl to quote Queen? I don't know who the fat bottom girl is, one of the female officials, but she sucks. I mean, she had everybody on her ass, pun intended, because it took about 3, 4, 5, or 6 of us just to make one comment on that big old fat ass of hers. And the fat ass didn't even imagine the fact that she couldn't see anything. She couldn't see anything. There were at least 2, 3, or 4 defensive pass interference on the friggin' garglers that were not called. They were right in front of her, not called. Okay. And again, I know that's part of your brethren and your sisterin there, Ref Guru, but she sucks. I have no clue. She was number 100. That's all I got from her. She was number 100. She sucked.
Maya and Robin De Lorenzo would not be on my list of officials to be officiating at that level. Quite frankly, it's unfortunate that there's a potential lack of quality at that position, and then when you see it right in front of you, I know that's got to be frustrating. The good news was, in a sense, it didn't really matter, which is really unusual for a Raiders game for things not to matter. Welcome to the show, by the way, Kev and Sharif. Yes. Who else is in here? Carl or Kai?
Kel.
Oh, Kel. Sorry.
Yeah, Kel from England. And Kel, by the way, I kept it international. I got money for it. I got money for that extra ticket. So instead of having some eye candy, I actually got some money for a ticket that was enjoyed by a Canadian who came down. So I'm very, as the people know, money at this point, when you don't have any coming in, getting some bread for that ticket was very well. And like I said, that Canadian gentleman by the name of Robert saw the historic right with us. So he was there.
Yeah, I think whether you were there watching it on TV, of course, being there a little more beneficial to it to be able to say you saw it in person. But it was a joy to watch on TV. And if I missed Asylum, welcome to the show as well. That was just an awesome game to watch. Not really much to complain about. There's a lot of takeaways there. In addition to getting 8 different players in the end zone. Defense again played as well. And I know the Chargers were without Herbert. Now they're without a head coach, thanks to us, probably in part. But what did you like about what you saw against the Chargers in that game? Because obviously the lead in for this week is we're going to Arrowhead. So that's coming up in the conversations for the preview for next week. But knowing that that's part of the lead-in, what did you guys like about what you saw out of the Raiders on Thursday night?
For myself, the consistency in fighting for each other. It's like they were playing for each other, having fun, and laying some wood. So it felt like a game in Oakland to me spiritually.
And don't you guys think that for the team as a whole, that's been kicked around a little bit in a number of different ways, and near the bottom in the league in scoring? And I realize that the 63 points didn't bring us up a lot, but obviously it was some. But don't you think now that after scoring 63 points, I don't know, again, it was the Chargers, but this is still pro football, that they can look at that now as potential, being able to say, why not, right? Because before that, they really didn't know, so to speak, what the potential was. You going out there and scored 63 points, and now what?
Well, as Kel was saying, and Kel, by the way, Kel's a Vikings fan. Let's segue from that, Kel, the Vikings fan, to a game that the Raiders played the previous Sunday, which was like harder to watch than if you were in a dentist chair with the dental attendant scraping your teeth with those devices, and then for spite pulling them without anesthetic, because that game was hard to watch. 0 to 60 in 4 days. That should be a commercial. In fact, I got that, say, how fast did it go from 0 to 60? Well, we went from 0 to 60, 63 ticket in 4 days, and it was inspiring. Okay. Even with the Vikings game, it was one play. They needed one play. Well, they had one play. The same gentleman, if I'm not mistaken, that had the greatest interception since Jack Squirick, I think, dropped one that would have been probably pick 6 on the Vikings game, but we could have won that game with the, and I'm going to assume the extra point, 7-3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so they needed one play, and we couldn't get that one play. We had it, but we couldn't get it to fruition. And I like Wayne was saying, I don't know what the hell they were feeding the guys before the locker room, a Gatorade and Viagra mix with some cocaine probably, except they didn't want to have it come out on the piss test. But they were feeding them something in the spirit of the moment. And they came out there, they saw, they kicked ass, 21-0, and the first quarter wasn't even done yet. And I haven't seen an ass whooping like that since the 56, I think we laid on Denver, where we were up like 21-0, and there was still about like 3 minutes left in the first quarter. That was the greatest I've seen prior to being at that game, and it was well deserved. The team and Antonio Pierce. I had AP on the mind. Mm-hmm. Antonio Pierce laid it on him, and hoping that will be the thing that is needed, because again, this is another segue. We go from Minnesota to an ass whooping against the Garglers to what is upcoming in Kansas City, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was fun to watch. Great that we lived long enough to see the Raiders not only put up 63 points, but a franchise record. Not sure when we'll ever, if ever, see that again, or at least for a while. But it was a lot of fun. Maybe we can put up 64 against the Chiefs and beat them by 2. Let's
get 73, man. Let's get the record.
Yeah, that would have been cool. It's like you get that close, especially with so much time left in the game. But they gave, in lieu of that, they gave players a chance to play, and I thought that was cool.
I thought that was cool. Yeah, getting those youngsters in, getting those reps in real combat is way different than practice. So
absolutely.
That was good to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, welcome to the show, Robert. Speaking of the Vikings, they went into Cincinnati, got beat by the Bengals by a field goal. This is a Vikings team that is trying really hard to put themselves in a position for the playoff spot, and they might still. They got a tough road, but this is a team now that could end up playing the Michigan Wildcats.
Be very careful to what you say. Damn it, I'm getting my hat.
I'm just saying it's possible that the Nordics could end up playing the Michigan Wildcats 3 times in 21 days. They got 2 games. Don't they have both games against them during coming up in the regular season?
I think it's what 17.
Yeah, they got they've got
18, 15, and then maybe a
And
playoff
then
game.
maybe a
Yeah.
playoff.
well, they've got Detroit, and then they've got
C'est toi, you
and
imbécile!
and then they've got Green Bay, and then they go back to Michigan. So, and then if they ended up meeting them in the playoffs, that would be another week. So
Yeah.
it would be really interesting to see that game 3 times. But this game was a statement game for the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Chase got a shoulder separation, so he's out now again this week against Pittsburgh. We'll get to that game because there's some drama coming out of the Steelers out of Pittsburgh this week. Hello, welcome to the show. But you know, a tough loss for the Vikings on the road, but this was one the Bengals really needed. And I think again, we've talked about this. If you're going to lose a game, lose it to the conference game on the road. Don't get anybody hurt. So Minnesota lost, but I'm not sure it hurt them. Whereas the Bengals now put themselves a game or so behind Cleveland with regards to the playoff spot now, isn't it? Cleveland, Cincinnati, and somebody else for the 3 wild card spot. So
I don't look until we win out, and then they say we need this, that, and I don't care.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I'm sorry. I'm being honest.
I agree with you. All this speculation about if the playoffs started today, well, they don't. But it makes for fodder conversation. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis got beat by the Colts. The storyline here: Colts putting themselves in a possible position for an outside shot at the division title. Now that Jacksonville and Houston have fallen, everybody is now 8-6 or something, and they're 8-7 or whatever. And then, but the bigger news once the Colts game was over was the Steelers player that didn't block. Now we've got a lot of controversy in Pittsburgh about everybody being soft over there. What's going on there?
I think that kind of stemmed from a hit or something wasn't it a defensive?
Well, there was a Colts player making a run down by the goal line,
yes.
And the Steelers player no. There's a Steelers running back trying to get into the goal line inside the 5, and the Steelers player just stepped aside, didn't block the Colts player to try to help him out. And he was saying, "Well, I didn't want to block somebody because I didn't want to get hurt."
Yeah, well, he went to the Marcus Peters School of blocking and tackling.
Okay. Well, that explains everything. Well, we talked about this like 3 or 4 weeks ago when Pittsburgh was hanging around with a playoff spot. We told you on this show that they were going to attrition out, and that's exactly what they're doing. And one of the reasons why they're doing that is that they're not scoring enough points. Yeah. So it's pretty much bye-bye Pittsburgh from the standpoint. On the other hand, the Colts are positioning themselves to maybe outside chance win the division with 2 weeks to go, or 3 weeks to go if you count this week. But certainly they're in position to be a playoff spot if they keep winning, and that's a big if, although they've got not really a freebie, but they've got a winnable game down in Atlanta this week against the Falcons. Speaking of Falcons, they went into Carolina, got beat by the Panthers because I don't know. Denver went into Michigan.
Thank you. I was going to say, don't screw up my hat order.
I got ref's eyesight. My bad. Denver went into Michigan to take on the Wildcats. This was not a game I expected Denver to win. Detroit's pretty fired up right now, and I just think that it was a little bit too much for the Broncos. It would have been too much for anybody, just as Dallas, nobody wants to play Buffalo right now. Nobody really wants to play the Lions right now. I think the Lions.
It's Lyon. And don't I look like Sylvester Stallone from the Invincibles or the Untouchables or the Destructibles or
maybe
that
one?
At the Spendables. I don't. Well, hey, maybe with my age, it's called the Dependables.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Get it?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even the old guy got it.
It depends. Wait, what? Yeah. So it depends. But I think nobody really wants the Wildcats right now. They got to get a little bit of defense. But I mean that's going to be a problem for them if they got to go to Dallas, Philadelphia.
It's okay. We got the double V. They got the double V. We got the double V.
So
right.
Yeah. So
that's how to say it. Double V, right?
Yeah, we were 1-5. To get to a shot at the playoffs, Week 16 is impressive. It is.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Congratulations! Viva la Quelle from the United Kingdom.
Yeah. But Denver probably looking on the outside. And, they talked about the warming trend that's hit the Denver area this week, weather-wise. Not surprised with this heated as Sean Payton got that things didn't warm up there.
A lot
Not
sooner,
surprised at
huh?
all.
Yeah.
Not
You
surprised at
are
all.
overdressed for Denver. You are overdressed for Denver. Wait, take off some of your layers. It's not that bad.
Oh.
Mm.
Captain
Whoa.
says, how's OG Raider Daniel been?
He's doing all right, but I haven't heard from him. I need to ping him, and hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that too. The Chicago Bears went in to play the Cleveland Browns at a 17-7 lead and dropped the ball, if you will, on the last play of the game. Hail Mary that would have won the game. Cleveland escapes with a win, mostly because they weren't guarding the end zone very well. But this is a Bears team now that really is just in a position to play spoiler. And let's see, whose season can they spoil? They're going to play Arizona, Atlanta, and Green Bay. So not really very many teams to spoil in this case. But we put Chicago on the clock a long time ago. We put them on the
They could have won that game, though. Like
I know, but he dropped the ball. The ball hit him right in the chest.
Dropped the ball. Yeah, and by the way, I want to say thanks, Kel, for the 10 pounds. Not $10. 10 pounds. 10 pounds for that Christmas gift for the liquor. Thank you there, shipmate. But getting back to the point.
I noticed you were looking better. Oh, you mean money, not weight. Okay.
No, 10 pounds. I'll show you. I'll show you about 38, 39.
Copy that. Well, right. Cleveland's got themselves in a position now for a pretty good playoff spot. I think they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs, depending on who they play. I don't think they're going to sneak up on anybody, though, with Joe Flacco. But I think the issue with the Browns now, fellas, is they're getting the people banged up, and that could hurt them going forward, right?
Yeah, they're down to one stud running back. You got Joe Flacco in there, so it's like, how many people can you bring up from the practice squad for one game? So
right,
it's a battle of what do you call it, attrition right now.
Yeah, Tampa Bay beat Green Bay. Not really a surprise there. Would have liked the Packers to win that one at home against the Pirates
too.
But all that did really for Tampa Bay was to set up their NFC South showdown now with the Saints. So the Saints are in LA tonight to take on the Rams. That may put the Saints down one if you think the Rams are going to win that. But I think Tampa Bay now is in a position to step up if they want to. I think the question is, will they?
Platitudes to that gentleman named Baker Mayfield who had a perfect passer rating in Green Bay. Yeah. Okay, had never been done before. So a guy as awful as Baker Mayfield to get a perfect passer rating, that's kind of like when Nick Foles threw 7 touchdowns against us for the record.
That's right.
A really horrendous quarterback with a record. Hey, good for you, Baker. Yeah, and a ring.
And a Super Bowl touchdown.
But that was afterwards, though.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. But yeah.
So good job, Baker, the fake pirate.
Tampa Bay has Jacksonville coming in this week, and a Jacksonville team that's struggling a little bit. And I think they're saying, Lawrence is in concussion protocol, and he is, but he's going to play. That's because that's their only choice. I mean, they're dropping pretty fast, and now technically a 3-way tie, if you will. I know there's tiebreakers in there, but technically a 3-way tie in the AFC South between Jacksonville, Houston, and Indianapolis means Lawrence is going to play. But
you want to see Beathard in a quarterback? No.
No, and neither does Jacksonville. At this point.
Exactly.
But of the 3 games, Cleveland is at Houston, which isn't a pushover. And so Indianapolis goes to Atlanta. So of the 3 games, I think Indianapolis has the best chance of winning out of those 3.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Jets got clocked by Miami. No surprise there. I think for the first time all season, though, guys, we're going to see the Miami Dolphins play a team that actually is a bona fide winning playoff team, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about that. But Miami's rolling, and I think at this point it's Baltimore's conference to give away, if you will. But if what we want is for the Chiefs to have to go to Miami, that's what we want, because then
Yes,
anything
kind
could
of
happen.
even the playing field, so to
Yep.
speak.
Yeah, well, I
Giants.
tell you what, they're one of the few times you will ever hear me say I'm rooting for the cow patties against
Yeah.
the fish.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I'm actually picking Dallas this week. I'll tell you right now, that's going to be my pick. I know they're playing in Miami. Just
But it's
don't
late in the
trust
year. It's
Miami's
not
off.
humid. It's not humid.
No,
It's
well,
actually nice.
it's December. It's going to be
Exactly.
nice there, or if it's either going to be
It
nice
is.
or pouring down rain. I don't know which, but
Eh.
broken clock is right 2 times a day. Copy that. The Giants got beat by the Saints. Houston went to Tennessee and beat the Titans by 3 points.
Which one you want me to put on?
Yeah, well, whichever one lost.
Who lost?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
lost.
Come on,
Okay.
whiskey.
I got
you
my
got-
whiskey hat. I couldn't remember who the hell lost the
Well,
game.
you
That's
drank
why I
too
had-
much and
I
got
had
beat.
both
Put your
of
other
them
hat
ready.
on. Yeah, you
But
drank
I tell
too
you
much.
what, it was a good Southern game between Tennessee and Houston, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it was because you got that other guy on the other side playing quarterback, definitely rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely
Stroud,
rookie
yeah.
of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else that can take that from him. But you know what? It just makes things interesting between Tennessee and Houston and that team down south, right? But I will tip my hat. See, this is the segue. I'm gonna tip my hat
Uh-huh.
to those boys in Houston. Yeah, oh, what a damn victory!
Yeah, well, you got the field goal to win it. I agree with Ed Cap. It's hilarious. Not that the rest of us aren't, but he gets that. And hello from Central Missouri. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
you?
so Tex, you got the win against Tennessee. Good for you. We put the Titans on the clock though a
A
long
while
time
back.
ago, didn't
Yep.
we?
Yep.
When did we put them on the clock? 4, 5, 6.
We should be
week 12.
Be like up on like the people that are definitely not making the playoffs and to the people that really could make the playoffs.
Well, we're talking about that in the green room, that if we put Atlanta on the clock tonight, and I think we should.
Yep.
There aren't any teams left that are not in playoff contention. But then, like V said, we don't have to put people on the clock when we get to playoffs, so they're going to put themselves on the clock by losing,
week.
right?
Each week.
But I think we should go bold tonight and put Houston and Atlanta on the clock. I think Houston, for as good a run as they had, I think the Colts.
Wow. No, I don't know. I don't know. I'd put Atlanta on the clock, but I'm not ready to give up on Houston yet. That's just me.
I don't disagree with you. If they get beat by Cleveland this week, it's pretty much over for them, especially if the Colts get the win and by somehow Jacksonville beats Tampa Bay, and that's a big if. But we try to go bold on this show, but I just think Houston's done at this point. I think they've had a great run, but I think they're just the Denver Broncos of the AFC South. They've had a great run, but I think it's over for them. But anyway, we can talk about that. But I think we could probably put at minimum Atlanta on the clock, and then we have to decide. Then we have to decide next week or week 18, are we going to put anybody else? Actually, by week 18,
they should all be on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's no value in us putting people on the clock at that point. The whole point of us putting people on the clock is to prove, or to at least extend out, that we have some crystal ball in the way that we do our analysis and our stats, and that we can make those predictions. After next week, I'm not sure that's really. That bold of us to put somebody on the clock. What are going to be the 3 biggest keys to the Raiders' victory?
Thank you.
In Kansas City.
Hey, SenCal, we'll get to that when we get to the next week's show. Just remind us.
Section,
I'll give you 3 right now, though. Run the ball, play good defense, and score more points than they do.
Well, the last one I was going to use, so that at least score at least one.
That's the top 3, though. I mean,
No, there could be others. There could be turnovers. Don't forget about these guys. They're going to shit up for you.
Oh, I thought you were twisting your tits just like the guy out the movie. Ooh, just like wait a second. I need the hat for that one. Okay, here you go.
You're on it, man. You're on one. But that did.
Moving on, Kansas City went into New England, deflated some balls, and beat the Patriots. The question with this game really was just, Kelsey taking that fall in the end zone, hoping to get a flag. I mean, that was ridiculous acting. The Washington player did the same thing in that game, but they did get the flag, but they got the flag because Robin De Lorenzo is about as good as Mia Chaka, who you were talking about earlier in the Raiders game. But really, the other piece of this
badass bitch, right?
Those are your words, not mine. But okay.
Well, I'm Bill Belichick. I can say whatever the hell I want.
Oh well, sure, Coach B. Yeah, well, you didn't beat the Kerchiefs, but
Yeah. Well,
nobody else does either.
But anyway, here's the thing: we played well. We should have and could have, and we really probably
beat by 10 points.
But well, did you watch the game, sir?
Maybe.
Did you watch the game? We were in that game for most of the game, and had the calls gone our way a little bit better, because damn it, I paid these bastards to make sure it was good to go. Okay, we should have.
Mahomes paid them more. That's the problem.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, the Raiders, that team that you guys like, will need to thank us.
Why?
For losing the game. And the reason why I say that is this. Could you imagine if the Raiders went into Kansas City next week and Kansas City was on a 3-game losing streak? There would be hell to pay, and there would be no way in hell that the Raiders would beat Kansas City on Christmas so that they would avoid a 4-game losing streak. I think the Raiders owe us a bunch of the same amount of money that I paid for the officials that didn't work. I'm just saying. I'm still the great Bill Belichick. We're on to Denver. We'll get to that next week. We're on to Denver.
Yeah. Well, congratulations for not blowing it, so to speak. But anyway,
wait. We're talking about blowing things. We're not talking about the Wild Orchid.
I know, but that was a good segue, right?
Exactly. I knew you were talking about the Wild Orchid down in Stewart. Right. That's my owner. That's my owner.
So the other factor in this game was, we didn't have a show last week because we took the bye. But part of the conversation that would have been last week had to do with Tomey being offsides in the Kansas City game, where basically the last play of the game would have beat the Bills. Anybody want to cover that, or is that old news now?
No, screw it. Let's get to it. Go on, Wayne.
Well, that hefty fine that the league spanked Coach Reed with was kind of like don't let that out of the bag, so to speak. So they don't want to have to discuss it. So by him bringing it up was just a bad optics, as they say.
Okay.
The Raiders 07. Coach B, we want you. Don't want you in Vegas, right?
Is the great coach that's on the competition committee, kind of like the Don Shula has been for many years. Okay. Here's my take on that. Patrick Mahomes I'm going to try to watch my words for the kids out there because I have an image to maintain.
I thought it was Peter.
He's a effing crybaby. He's an effing crybaby. Because the thing is that the officials, and I think you'll attest to this, whatever your name is, whoever you are. No, you don't look around. You're a schmuck. Okay. I'm pointing to you. Okay. You will attest to this, that the officials do not have to tell somebody that he's lined up offsides. It is a courtesy. Now, if they look over at you and they kind of, with the hand to, hey, dude, am I okay? Then it's probably a good thing for you to let them know if they're onside or offside. But the fact is that Tony was so far offside, he was smelling the butt of the defensive lineman that was lined up, or the defensive back that was lined up across from him, and the linebacker, because he was in their backfield. Okay. He was way outside. There's nothing to say about it. You know what? Go home and cry. And Patrick, Kermit, Darlene Mahomes can blow me. Enough said from the great Bill Belichick. That's it.
All right.
Well, I'm glad that'll be on your bulletin board, Coach.
The short of it is that is true. Andy Reid blew the whole thing up by saying he usually gets a warning. Well, first of all, you're right. Warnings are high school, really. Officials at this level can give warnings. Generally, they don't unless it's a high level type thing, like, hey, on that last play or that last kickoff, you were really close to, helmet to helmet contact. If I see it again, I'm going to call it, stuff like that.
There you
Somebody's
go.
offsides or not, this is pro football, figure it out. But here, the reason why in part it blows up is because who's going to get a warning on the last play of the game? The whole point of a warning is to give, if you give it to the coaches, is so that they can make corrections and fix it.
Right.
There's no fixing it on the last play of the game. What's their time to fix? There's no time to fix. So
that's an operative word because it's a pun and it's a very operative word. There's no time to fix it. Fix it. Fix it. As in some things are fixed. Extrapolate.
Yes.
In addition to that fix, there's also no time to fix an infraction. Do you see my point here? If the line Tomey's offsides on basically the last play of the game, what's he going to do? Go over to the coach and say your guy's offsides? First of all, he's not going to leave the line of scrimmage to do that when the snap of the ball is imminent. Second of all, even if he did do that as a courtesy, the only option the Chiefs would have at that point would be to call a timeout so they could fix it. What else are they going to do? And at that point, that's not the whole point of a warning. So Andy Reid throws a big monkey wrench into this thing by saying, I usually get a warning.
Says
And
the old Jewish guy in the deli.
If you do, it's in the first quarter. Yeah. So the whole thing got messed up from that standpoint. So I'm not surprised he got fined a candy bar. As part of that.
But it's great to see that they went after him for being blatant, flaming, crying baby a-holes.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got what they deserved there. So maybe they'll fix it. But yeah, that wasn't a controversial piece, I think, from the officiating standpoint. What got blown out of proportion was all of the nonsense after that, because I think the general public, if you will, or maybe even broadcasting media, whoever, most folks that generally are not in the know are all of a sudden like, what do you mean warning? I didn't know there were warnings. What's this warning thing? Well, first of all, that's high school.
The fixing of games.
Exactly. It's high school. And at this level, it is a courtesy. It's not required, not mandatory. Tomey was offsides. He should have gotten the flag. There was other folks who was like, well, if he's offside, they should have shut the play down. Like, no. Why would you stop? Why would you stop play and then tell the offense, oh, well, I stopped it because you were offsides? The defense would be like, what the hell? Let us make a play. I mean, there's all these other stuff going on. It just doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. Ed says that was an amazing play. It was if it had worked. It still was. Right. It
was an amazing play that didn't count.
That didn't count.
Yeah,
it did work.
Right.
It did work. It didn't count. But it was a good play. It was well designed. And the thing is, at Buffalo, just after when you saw that, in fact, as soon as they snapped the ball, I saw the flag, and I thought, oh, great, they got Buffalo for offsides or something. And then Kelsey throws the ball back to Tomey, who walks it in essentially for a touchdown, and Buffalo standing around going like, what's all that about? I'm like, really? You got burned on that play?
All of the things that were improv, because Kansas City has all of those trick plays.
Yeah.
Per somebody that said that was not a play that was in their book. Kelsey was just had and I hate the bastard, but he had the wherewithal to look around to see that Tony, and just Tony, by the way.
Yeah.
Tony was there free, and he's fast like the cheetah, not as fast as the cheetah, but he is fast, almost as fast. Saw that there was nobody on him, and he took it upon himself to lateral it to him on that pass.
Well, and he was surrounded by 3 Bills. He was going to get tackled there,
right? And that was the greatness. That, oh God, I'm throwing up as I say that. The greatness of Travis Swifty on that.
Yeah. No, I get it. You got to give him credit where credit is due. It's just a bummer that he was offside.
Football IQ.
But a lot of it got blown out of proportion for the wrong reasons. I know Mahomes went ape cuckoo on the sidelines, but you know what? You just got to take responsibility when you screw stuff up. They should have just said, it is what it is. Everybody saw it. He was up. The problem with it was on the very next play. Von Miller is technically offside. No flag on that.
No flag. Right.
There's some nuances difference with that.
Right.
But yeah,
But he's a defender. He can move around.
He can, but you can't come across the line of scrimmage before the ball snapped. You're in a neutral zone. So, and he was in a neutral zone. I think his right arm was in a neutral zone before the snap, but technically that's a foul.
Every time I hear neutral zone, I think of the Romulans and the Federation, man.
Yeah.
I don't think that professional football.
Yeah, but anyway, it is what it is. And I think that's part of the consistency. That's the other problem with replay is that some plays are not reviewable, and I think all plays should be reviewable.
I do too.
So it doesn't mean you're going to review all plays. It just means that the potential is there. Coaches shouldn't have to officiate the game with challenge flags in addition to trying to figure out, gee, is it inside of 2 minutes? Am I going to burn a timeout? Is it reviewable? Is it not reviewable? You're going to pick up the flag because it's not reviewable. It's this nonsense. This has just gotten crazy. It's not worth it. All right, San Francisco beat Arizona. Washington went into LA, got beat by the Rams. That was a pretty big win for LA, even though Washington made it close at the end. The Rams are holding on to a wild card spot. The other game, who'd I miss?
No.
I'm just getting ready for you, bastard.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Usually you're a little late, but that's good. So good job. Good job, Cap. All right.
Cap, who the hell Cap? I'm
Tex, sorry. You went into Buffalo, got beat by the Bills, but I think that was good for you because maybe now the team will settle down and say, we got a 6-game season, we're going to kick some butt. And the Eagles got beat by Seattle, so you really didn't lose much. You didn't gain anything.
Didn't matter. Didn't matter.
Really?
I said because we lost to a good team. And what's it called those Eagles or Eagle? How did you say it in Phil? I think it's Eagles.
The cheesesteaks.
You know what? I like that. I don't normally like you, but that was a good one.
Okay. Hey, you wearing him down.
Not bad. Not the Philadelphia cheesesteaks when they got beat by Drew Lock. Can you imagine that? I mean, and by the way, I didn't even watch the second half of the game because the lady in the other room wanted to watch something else. She said, "Do you really want to watch
like the Hallmark
game?" I didn't see the end. That was amazing. It doesn't matter that the Texas boys from Dallas lost. It don't matter. Because we're from Texas and everything's great in Texas. I'm going to get ready for the next portion. You can talk whatever the hell you want.
All right. Well, Baltimore went into Jacksonville and beat the Jaguars. This is a Jaguars team, guys, that now is, in my opinion, slipping a little bit. They're actually now in jeopardy of maybe losing the AFC South. Probably not. I think if they do, they lose it to the Colts, but I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But they're in some must-win situations now. At least they got to win, I think, 2 out of 3. They're going to go to Tampa Bay, and we'll see about that with Lawrence and, quote, concussion protocol, which I think is probably true, but really more of a ploy at this point.
Every week, man. That's every week.
Yeah, I know. But Jacksonville, I think even if they make the playoffs and even if they win the division to get a home game, they could end up playing Cleveland. They could end up playing Indianapolis. That's not a freebie
and be
for Jacksonville at all at this point.
Right.
Philadelphia went into Seattle, got beat by the Sea Chickens.
Amazing.
I didn't really expect the cheesesteaks to win that, but you got to appreciate the way Seattle hung in there.
I did
too. I think I called. Philly.
I was gonna say we both call actually the Hall of Famer and I. Let's get that. Not some guy who wears stripes who thinks he's a zebra. Okay, the Hall of Famer and I called the cheesesteaks to win, and that's why when the other lady said, "Do you really want to watch this?" and I can't remember what the hell we watched some decent TV, which is amazing to say decent TV. I didn't see. By the way, Jim Rockford, James Garner, Raider fan from the 60s and 70s. Right. May he rest in peace, sir. I'd watch the Rockford Files in Columbo and McLeod and Banachek, all those old school Sunday, the NBC.
McLeod, isn't that where you store all your stuff from your phone?
No, that's Dennis Weaver, you ignorant son of a bitch. Don't make me put my hat back on.
That's where all the McDonald's recipes are, is in the McLeod. No?
Nah.
Uh-oh.
Boy, don't make me come back and kick your ass.
got texts up in a roar, baby.
Cap gonna come through the internet and rip my
That's it.
As Dennis Weaver with my hat. As Dennis Weaver with my hat.
So it says so Michael's, who are your guests?
Yeah, that's what I saw that one too. Yeah, who are your guests?
No, Mike. This isn't my show, Mike. This is their show. This is Red Guru.
It's our show.
This is the Hall of Famer Wayne Violator Mabry, and for comic relief with some football knowledge, you got Captain Jack. But thanks for watching, G Mike. Every Thursday. Every Thursday.
Yeah,
right on.
But that's Mike. Okay. It's easy to get all these shows confused.
Yeah.
But normally we're regulars on this show, but
no, I'm the guest. I'm the guest.
No
problem. For 3 years or something. But yeah, I'm the special guest.
Has it been that long? Seems like forever.
Yeah, it's been 3. It's been 3.
Seems like forever.
Been 3, man. Hey, glad to have you, man.
No worries, G Mike. Just keep watching, brother.
Just keep watching, man. It gets better. Trust me.
Well, we'll see about we'll see about that for sure. But in any case, week 15 was entertaining. Week 14 had some carryover because of the Tony offsides and the officiating thing. The Raiders got a big win, but now we're getting set up for a lot of teams that are trying to make a playoff push. Some teams are trying to play spoiler. The Raiders could be involved in that mix on Christmas Day. We've got week 16, actually. And then we'll have 17, 18. We've got week 16 coming up to cover, and we'll be back right after the break. But we have a trivia question. Go ahead.
One thing before that, because I know that you told me to be aware for it. Did you guys see the meme that was Tony going into the Kansas City coach's locker room? No. It was straight out of Goodfellas. It shows Tony as Joe Pesci. Walks into the room because he was supposed to be a made man. So he was going in to get his ceremony. You're finally up there. You're being made. He walks in. He sees that there's nothing in the room. And the 2 guys behind him, the one guy puts a cap in his head. That was Tony. Yeah, that was, Tony.
I haven't seen that one.
It's wonderful. It's like, and they have wonderful. Yeah, because the one guy is Mahomes and the other guy is Andy Reid, and I don't know which one puts a cap in his head, but that is beautiful. See if you can find that.
And just so you know, we've got another half of the show coming up, but I did close the chat for a minute because we're going to go to commercial break, and I didn't want the chat overlay. But a couple things I didn't see that one. I did see the one where somebody posted a pic of a SUV in the middle of an intersection with the caption that says Tony's on his way to work.
I haven't seen that one either. Oh, yeah, my God.
It's literally this SUV in the middle of an intersection with the red light, and then the caption underneath it is Tony on his way to work. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. But Cap, you got a trivia question, and I'm not sure what we're giving away, but what's the trivia question?
Yeah, here it is. Like I said, I'm going to do it for those that missed it before. This is a fantastic hat that I have. It's a little dirty in the front, sorry, but it shows you. I'm trying to get to where it's square. There you go.
Yep.
The original logo of the Raiders. Okay, it's fantastic. I love this hat. I love this logo. But there's something that's not quite right. That's off base, which is wrong about this logo. What is it? What is wrong about this logo? And that the prize will be given by what my cohorts in crime, my 2 guests, by the way, G.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
the 2 guests. There's something wrong with that logo.
Make sure you get it right. They got to guess. Drew Lock was from Missouri. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Missouri.
Huh. Staley said, "Show your receipts on the way out of Walmart." Yeah, either that or he's at Costco. I'm not sure which, but
Asylum got it.
Yeah. All right, and Mike says they got a good feeling about this game on Monday. Well, that's good because we're not going to win, but okay. All right, we'll be back right after the break to talk about Week 16. Hang in there with us. I know the chat's closed, but it'll be open after the break. We'll be right back. About a minute and a half, by the way, in case you got to go pee.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Violator, just coming to you again to give you a personal testimony on these fantastic Fitline products that I've been using for a couple of years. And you've seen me on my quest to bring that body weight down, get back in shape like I used to be. And this is my secret weapon. These two products right here, Power Cocktail and Restaurant, my daytime and nighttime formula. At Fitline, we call them our optimal set. And baby, let me tell you, one in the morning, one before bed at night, and you let them do their thing. Trust me, these are some fantastic products if you're serious about getting your body where it needs to be, just improving your health overall.
Welcome back to NFL Nation Live, our Week 16 show. We closed the books on Week 15. We're going to get you ready for tonight's game, where the Saints are in LA to take on the Rams, and the rest of the games Week 16. But our trivia question was, what was wrong with the hat? Richie J says it wasn't straight.
You know what, Rich? Right here.
Yeah, but hey, he's right. I
here.
mean, you can't argue with that. Michael says, show us again. Asylum says it doesn't have gold on it.
That Asylum.
Whatever.
That's kind of it. But I like Matt Marinovich's answer better because
Which
that's
was
more
what?
true.
Yeah, I saw that
which
one.
is no gold football.
No
The
gold
football.
Yeah.
The football.
No
in
gold
the,
football. What?
Yeah, the football
Yeah.
in the original logo was
It's
gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Yes, yeah. But there's something else. There's something else to it. Yeah. By the way, Richie, here's your. It's not straight. Okay. Anyway,
Actually, the hat is straight. His head is crooked.
Man.
yeah, the camera work is bad. But
Yeah.
there's something else. So there's another answer that's out there.
Barbecuing and zero.
The football should be gold, and I'm sorry, Asylum. I think Matt Marinovich kind of got that.
Yeah, I saw it
Little
before we
bit-
went to break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raiders had
So-
gold in there. Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't say original cap.
Yes, I did. This was the original logo. But
see,
I
that's-
said that there's something that's NQR, not quite right about this. There's
You
two
use-
things. There's two
Yeah.
things. The gold football, and there's something else. Look at it
So-
again.
Raiders 07 says, do you see Carr and Nola next season? I think I know because he's
No.
already
Say
married,
no.
right?
Yeah.
No, he's about as gone as he was when he got
You got
fired out of here.
you guys missed the joke. Come on. I said no, he's already married.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Hey, you
All
know what? Matt gets them both because it was
Okay.
the helmet color.
What are we giving away?
I don't know. You give him something. I ain't got shit to give him.
So your trivia question is my prize, huh?
Yeah. Well, you are my guests.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
yes.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I
Come
I
on.
see how this works.
That's it.
Okay, so who won that?
Matt Marinovich
Matt
got a vote.
Marinovich. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Matt, if you don't have a T-shirt, NFL Nation Live T-shirt, we'll send you a T-shirt. Send your shipping information to NFLNationLive@gmail.com. And what's your shipping information? And I'll get that over to Violator, and he'll get you a T-shirt.
And your size, your T-shirt and your
T-shirt size. Yeah.
Right, right.
Which probably is going to have to be starting at least with a 2X because I don't think we have any smaller sizes. But
Yeah.
but you can always use it for a polish rag or something.
Yeah. There you go.
so-
I was going to say NFLNationLive@gmail.com. Your T-shirt size. Send them your name and your address, and you're good to go.
And I'll
What-
throw a Moto Sport shirt in there.
Nice. Captain pointing after that comment confirms the not straight comment.
Hey.
Well, he identifies as being a Raider fan, so there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks for covering me on that one.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Yeah. Congrats.
Ed says you didn't say original cap, but that's okay, Ed. We'll take care of you. We got special stuff for you someday. All right,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Saints are in LA to take on the Rams. The game kicks off in about an hour and a half.
An hour, yeah.
The Saints and Rams both vying for a playoff spot. Maybe more important for the Saints because the Rams know they're not going to get a division title. So their only way in is through the wild card. And, of course, everybody needs wins at this point. The Saints now gotten themselves into a position where they're 7-7, essentially, if you will, tied with Tampa Bay, give or take the tiebreakers. And they still have Tampa Bay to play next week. So you could argue that this is a bigger game for the Saints and for the Rams, but the bigger question is who's the better team? I like the Rams at home, even though the Saints defense is playing pretty well. I just don't think the Saints are going to score a point.
I got the Rams at home, even though the Saints are getting Chris Olave back from an injury. But I just say, and I've already heard Aaron Donald say we're at home with that kind of a smirk. So I'm taking the Rams. I don't know what he meant by that.
Richie J says the Saints win it.
I'll tell you why the Saints don't win it. Look who's that quarterback.
Well, that's the reason why I don't think they'll win it. I think if they're going to win it,
yeah.
I think if they're going to win it, they're going to have to do it on defense. Matt Stafford, I think, struggles with defenses such as the Saints. I'd like, Rich, maybe you can put a short comment into the chat.
Oh, Richie and short? Well, that ain't happening.
You can put a smaller comment into there as to why he thinks it. By the way, I've opened the chat back up after our commercial break, so it'll take it a little bit to refresh. But we are seeing your comments there. Kevin, you going to the game Monday? Are you going to the game? Let's talk about that in a minute. Captain the Kardashian.
He learned last night because somebody we were talking about Wi-Fi Willie, and somebody was asking about him, and I said that Wi-Fi Willie is a car / Dashian because he's pro their car, and he was laughing. I says, no, it's how you differentiate. They're the Kardashians. The positives and then the negatives of the Kardashians. So now Richie's up to speed.
Which one is Chloe? Never mind. Thanks, Ed.
Well, they're all whores.
No, I get it. So we got a quick question. Are you guys going to the Chiefs game?
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I could have.
That's right. You had your tickets, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. I had a place to stay, a ticket, meals, a great time. Other than being in a Kansas City room, but it wasn't kind of like my room, except it's all okay. But I mentioned it to somebody who shall remain nameless, and she flipped out.
Wow! I got you.
Said, you're going to Christmas away from your family. I said, no. Guess I'm not now.
I get it.
Okay. Cincinnati going to go into Pittsburgh and play a Steelers team who has a little bit of identity and attitude problem right now. Look, this is a game the Steelers could win. I'm just not sure they will, even though they're playing at home. This is a trap game for the Bengals. I'm telling you right off the bat. I know Trubisky is at quarterback for the Steelers, and the Steelers are 28th in scoring in the NFL behind a Cincinnati team that's doing pretty well, who is 13th in scoring. But do you like the Bengals on the road in this one? And pretty much a must game now for the Bengals for them the rest of the way out.
I definitely have the Bengals with a road win here. Like I said, Pittsburgh cannot put up enough points. Now, Cincy with their backup quarterback, it's just business as usual. And Joe Mixon is having a stellar year at running back,
and they got to stay with that. And if they can get that going, forcing the Steelers to cover that, I think the Bengals then have a chance in the passing game, even without Chase, in order to win that. And by the way, Richie Chase says the Rams struggle with a good defense. I agree with that. I also think that Carr is good enough game manager to win this. I really want to believe that.
They're going to test him.
On the road, I don't know. At home, this game was in New Orleans.
Yeah, they're going to test him.
Yeah, I don't know.
You ain't getting no Cajun soul food on this game, man. You're gonna go down. You're gonna go down to Watts and Compton and whatever the hell else is around there, and that ain't Cajun. Let's put it that way. That's gonna be there's gonna be some food, but it's not what you are used to, all you fans of the Southern Coutier. Right. I even tripped on that. If like I said, hey, Bengals, but screw that. Let's go to the other game. Bengals, I like their quarterback. Their backup quarterback. I don't know what type of contract he is on, but this kid has shown enough that if somebody needs a quarterback next year, and if he's available, he's going to get signed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. Buffalo's going to go into LA and beat the Chargers. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think anybody wants anything to do with Buffalo right now. They seem to
Right.
have come together as a team a little bit and seem a little bit ticked off. If they carry that through, they're going to be a menace to somebody in the playoffs. It might end in Baltimore, assuming they get that far. But any argument about not taking the Bills against the Chargers?
No argument. The Chargers are already packed up, and the Bills have finally, yes, they've gotten their mojo back. They don't worry about who's on the field. Everybody thinking the same.
Yeah, Ed's taking the Steelers, and I understand. I think I understand why people might do that. I just think that
Mm,
the Steelers don't have it together. There's just something off there. I don't know if it's coaching, locker room, guys not blocking. I don't know what it is, but I just don't know if their heart's in it at this point. If they show up, Bengals might be in trouble. I'm just not sure that all the Steelers are all in it at this point,
Hey,
especially
Darth.
given the season where they are. Hey, Darth.
what up, Don?
By the way, that Buffalo game on Saturday is on Peacock, I think, streaming.
Streaming, huh? So a
Yeah.
lot of us won't see it.
No,
Wow.
it won't. You'll get the Cincinnati game on NBC, but I think that the Buffalo LA game is on Peacock.
Peacock, huh? Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Every time I hear that, I think of
I know.
I think of the guy. I can't remember. He was. It's the Devil's Brigade. Okay, great war movie. And Peacock was the Canadian sergeant major of that brigade. And the guy. I can't remember he was a trucker in a show in the 70s. You know, big burly dude, and he just went out of Peacock. And it's so every time I hear the name Peacock, I think of the Devil's Brigade. Claude Atkins, I think was the guy's name, right? Claude Atkins.
Claude Atkins.
Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great movie. It was oh my God, great cast. If you want to see a good war movie, The Devil's Brigade, but the guy's name was Peacock. I know that's just something that's way out of here, but that's me. It's the stuff that I think of.
That's free entertainment value that we add to the show. Rich says Bills will kill the Chargers. I hope they do. I just don't by 63 points. Indianapolis going to go into Atlanta and play the Poopy Birds at this point. I think we're unanimous in putting the Falcons on the clock. I just think the Colts are focused now, even with Minshew in there, that they might have a playoff spot. And I think the Falcons are done.
And this is not I like Omega Sci-Fi, but this is supposed to.
Oh, got you for Colts. The
Colts. Yeah. It works. It works both ways. Omega Sci-Fi and the Colts.
Well, thought maybe you're having a seizure, but I'll get it now. Green Bay going to go into Carolina.
Oh man, you too. I got to get my whistle. Oh my Lord.
Where's the flag?
Yeah. Right here. I got it right here, man.
Okay, Green Bay going to go into Carolina. You know, there were about 25 people at the Panthers game last week against Atlanta. There may be 6 more this week against the Packers. I don't know who wants this game. The Packers should be the football pick, but the Panthers may be playing with enough confidence. The Packers didn't do anything to speak of last week at home against Tampa Bay. Can they beat the Panthers in Charlotte?
I've got Green Bay making a revamp of themselves. You know, they're going to make amends of how poorly they played at home the previous week.
And then New York the week before that?
Definitely. I see Carolina in a lot of hurt right here in this one.
Okay. Well,
and like I said, the bad thing is that Carolina is aligning itself for the number 1 pick in the draft, which belongs to Chicago.
Right.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Chicago, a lot of draft capital.
Is that like a shoe in to Justin Fields? The rumors of him coming in to us?
Well, like I said, when you have the number 1 pick in the draft, and then you have the number 4 or 5 pick, depends upon how far they up and down. You got 2 picks in the top 5, man. You're gonna shop Justin Fields.
That's what I'm saying.
And essentially take over the whole draft or a good part of it.
The first couple of rounds, the first round anyway, dominated.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Kind of like what Houston did.
Exactly.
Houston did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they made that same move. That's a Michael Jordan move right there.
Cleveland going to go into Houston and play a Texans team now that I'm not sure. they may be out of gas, maybe not. Cleveland's beat up.
Hey, 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 there's one thing that I can say. There's always gas in Texas.
What kind of gas?
That was my point.
Well,
Anyway.
either
Probably
petroleum,
unleaded.
Yeah.
either petroleum
Natural.
or Mexicano tacos. We're gonna have the gas.
Yeah, some
in
gas.
Texas.
I
Some
got
natural
Cleveland
gas.
in this one. Guys, even though they're banged up, I'm taking Cleveland just from the experienced team standpoint.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I really want to like Houston in this one. I hear you, V.
I
really
do,
want to
but
like
I'm
Houston
taking
this one.
Cleveland.
I know. I really want to like. I understand why you're. Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I really want to like Houston in this. I just think if they circle whatever horses they have left in the corral there, I think Cleveland's in for a long day. I don't know. It's a tough one. Because look, Houston's got experience against good running backs. They played Tennessee twice already, I think. So they understand that part of it. If they can use that formula against the Browns, now the question is, can they get pass rush enough to really
Flacco.
disrupt Joe Flacco, which he
You
got a
don't
little bit
need
of
to
last
have a
week
big
at home
pass
against the
rush.
Bears.
The guy is 83 years old. Even I can go on the field with my cane and rush Joe Flacco, and that's why we're going to win. How many syllables, Wayne? Win.
At least 3.
I heard 3 right there.
There you go.
knew it.
He's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you're thinking about that.
Yeah.
So Richie Chase says Texans win. I can't argue that.
He says Miami killed it in the draft and with major moves. Yes,
Yeah.
they did. Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Well, and the trade for Tyreek Hill didn't hurt either.
Yeah, not at all.
Ed says Raiders don't want Fields. Well, I don't disagree with that, but
I don't either.
it's hard if you don't.
our GM,
It depends on. They've been to Denver.
Yeah.
You don't know what they picked up at the local store. Who knows what they're smoking over there? All right, Detroit gonna go into Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
The Michigan.
Give me a friggin' minute. I will put my proper hat on.
Okay, Pierre.
It's Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul.
Jacques.
Jean-Paul.
I got your Pierre right here.
Jean-Paul. Okay, so the Michigan Wildcats are going to go into Minnesota. This is a big deal. They need to beat the Vikings. They need to beat them up. They need to essentially put them on the clock, if you will, so to speak. We've already done that, but they want to get the Vikings out of the playoff picture. That may be harder said than done, but they've got them now for 2 weeks. The Wildcats have Minnesota.
Somebody else in Minnesota.
And then Minnesota. Yeah. Who is their week 16? Who is their week 17?
It doesn't matter.
Well, it kind of does.
And then the last week we win. That's
you go to Dallas.
It doesn't matter who that team is in between.
Yeah, it does. You're going to Dallas.
Yeah.
You're going to Dallas.
Again,
it absolutely doesn't
matter.
You're going to get beat by Dallas. So
it doesn't matter. We're talking about Minnesota.
I know,
and
but
Detroit. We don't care about that here. We don't give a crap. I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah.
I got Detroit. I got the Leons in Minnesota.
Well, we got you want to get the Nordics out of the playoffs. You got to beat them twice. You can afford the loss in Dallas.
We're going to beat them this week, and then we're going to beat them the last week in Detroit.
Okay. No, I think you will. But if you want them out of the playoffs, that's what you're going to have to do because you probably don't win the game in Dallas.
Why you're not listening to me, you imbecile? I told you that's what we're going to do.
Right, exactly. Which is a lot more than what Washington's going to do when they go into New York to take on the Jets. You got the 32nd ranked defense in Washington playing the 32nd ranked offense in New York Jets. What's going to give? Is that a ref?
It's going to end in a tie.
The Dark Raider podcast is asking, is that a ref? I don't know. You tell me.
It really is.
It really is a ref. Yeah.
Oh, he's asking he's asking for reals. Oh, yeah.
That's a ref. Yeah.
That really is. He really is a ref.
Yeah, that is a ref. And this one, gentlemen, I've got the Jets in the highest tie that there can be. I got the Jets squeaking by.
They got my Walt Coleman hat on.
What's up, Doc Raider?
Yeah. You taking the Jets?
I'm taking the Jets.
This
Jets.
is the one game I want to hear from
Wow.
Richie Richey. Who's he taking?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I want to
know,
like
it's a toss-up.
Washington. I want to like Washington. I think they're the better football team, but Jesus, somebody's got to score some points,
Yeah,
man.
and I think the Jets will score more points. That's why I'm saying it.
You can Washington has already mailed it in because they already know that Rivera is gone.
That's right, as
Yeah,
is
he's
everybody else. And I wonder if Bieniemy ends up back.
Went by a fart.
Just
right on, right
Oh,
on.
man.
I like that one. Let me put
So
that
they're
on the books.
they're gonna get a butt fumble and a field goal to win it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
I like that drop, the Sanchez butt fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except
and-
they're not playing the
Yeah.
Pats.
exactly. And back to the Dark Raider podcast. We talk a lot about the officiating on the show to try to set the record straight on a lot of things that are not covered everywhere else. So if you want to know what the real scoop is, this is a show to hear it,
Show.
because no one else is going to tell you what we're going to tell you about officiating right here on
And
the show.
these are the guys. That guy, Ref Guru, and the Hall of Famer Wayne Violator Mabry.
While eating a hot dog.
Yes.
Wow.
While eating hot dog. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Boy, they thought all the gas was in
Wasn't it
Texas.
against us?
Yes, it was against us.
It was
Yeah.
against us.
Yeah.
Hot dog?
I saw
Yeah.
that too. Yes, on the bench, eating a hot dog. Yeah.
He was
Really?
eating a hot dog in Oakland.
In
Wow.
uniform. On the
In
sideline.
uniform. Yes.
Was it
Yeah.
Mandela go with that?
That's the only thing was missing. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, he probably had that too, but the camera didn't catch it.
they catch that,
that's
but
a
they
bummer.
caught
Well,
that
'cause
hot
they-
dog.
Because they're not sponsoring it, probably.
I
So
guess.
does it say Oscar Mayer on the? Never mind. All right, Seattle's going to go into Tennessee, take on Whiskey Jack, and I just think that Will Levis is banged up. I think there's
Yes,
a
he
question
is.
about whether or not he's even going to play. But I like you want to like Seattle. Tennessee's pretty good at home, but I think Seattle
That's
has something
okay.
to
We got
play for, and I think that they're going to beat the Titans.
Well, like you say, Levis is banged up. His availability, they haven't really said yet.
Right, and I don't even know
But-
who their other quarterback is. Why? Is
And
Ryan
Henry's banged
we
up
got
too. So I'm
Malik.
taking
We got
Seattle.
Malik Willis. We got Malik
Who?
Willis, right? Is it Willis?
Oh, that's
we got
right,
Willis,
Malik.
right?
That's right. Yeah,
Who's
Malik.
that?
I forgot about him. Yeah, that's
And where did we get Malik? Where did we get Malik Willis from there, Wayne?
Chargers?
Let me think back. No. College.
Oh,
They
college.
drafted him.
No.
They drafted-
I appreciate that, but we
You a Florida
got
Gator?
Malik Willis from the pick that we grabbed from the damn Raiders, and the Raiders went and got Parham later on.
Yeah. Okay. I'll stand.
You're the only
corrected.
one in the whole
Wow.
free world that knows that, but thank you.
That's because I'm Whiskey Jack.
Whiskey
I know
Jack.
Yeah, that's
about
right.
the team.
You're more whiskey than Jack, but yes, that's
We
true.
love you, man. Either way,
Yeah,
Whiskey.
we do.
Hey. But I'm
Yeah.
taking the Sea Chickens in this one, though.
Yeah.
And a close
Is Kev still out there? Wonder if he's still out there. I was kind of curious what his pick was at. He's probably taking the sea
one.
chickens.
Don't tell nobody, but the chicken's gonna win.
Yeah.
Oh, we won't. Shh.
Shh. No one's gonna know. I promise. We're not gonna put this on the internet.
We're not broadcasting this, right?
No. It's just us talking.
Just
Yeah,
us
we're just
three,
chatting.
right?
Just us. Yeah. Right here.
Okay.
And a sock puppet wherever he is.
Is it a happy sock? Because I won't talk about that if it's a happy sock.
It's your sock. I don't know.
It ain't my sock. I keep my happy socks washed.
Got it. Jacksonville going to go into Tampa Bay. This is a big one. We don't really know the state of Jacksonville at this point. They dropped one to the Ravens last week. They're in danger of losing the division title, maybe. I haven't gone through all the tiebreakers, but, this is a game that they need to win, especially with the Colts likely to win against Atlanta. The question really here is Tampa Bay went into Green Bay, beat the Packers last week. Tampa Bay's kind of been up and down. They're going to watch tonight's game, I think, with a lot of interest because if the Rams win, what's the attitude in Tampa? That they can get this win and go up a game on the Saints with the Saints game still to be played, gives them the division title. What's going to happen with Tampa Bay? I know we're still an issue with Jacksonville. What do you think the feeling is in Tampa Bay right now?
What the state of Jacksonville is when Jacksonville's playing the Buccaneers and they're both playing in Florida? I'm sorry. I just can't, I
Yeah.
have to jump on that.
Would you like to move on to Arizona and Chicago?
Okay.
I'm taking the 4 Pirates though in this one, just for the sake of moving on. I got
Yeah.
Tampa Bay in this one.
The Cardinals are going to go into Chicago and take on their
Um,
oldest rivalry, the Bears. The Cardinals could play spoiler. I think a couple of weeks ago I liked Arizona against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. They got that one done. Do they have
Right.
another one in them in Chicago? Chicago's kind of on a little bit of a roll right now. I don't know.
Depending on Mother Nature. You remember these Red Birds play in the dome. They're gonna be out there in
right.
Soldier Field. I'm
If
sure
it's
it's
ugly.
gonna be a little bit nippy. So I'm taking Chicago
You'll be
for that
nipply?
reason. Nipply, yeah, nipply.
Yeah, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'll get
you
you
like
back.
the Bears at home?
I like the Bears at home.
The
right.
Bears.
The
The
Bars.
Bears.
The
The
Bars.
Yeah.
Dallas going to go into Miami and a Super Bowl 6 rematch against the
That's a tough one.
Dolphins. I like the Cowboys because the Dolphins haven't beaten anybody over 500. I think Dolphins are going to give them a game, but if Dallas wants this is Dallas's game to lose more than it is Miami's game to win. I like the Cowboys. I think they're also pissed off last week because everybody gave them hell for losing at Buffalo.
Go on, Wayne. I'll after you, brother.
I'm gonna see if the cheetah's back, but I'm leaning towards Miami in a slight victory over the Cowboys.
The power
But I know
of the hat.
the power of the hat.
Power.
Okay.
Oh,
The
good, because I
power
thought
that-
you were going to say gas, but go ahead.
Well, that too. You got and by the way, if we need gas, there's not too many good taco places down Miami, but they got good Cuban food. That gives you gas too. Plus, there's that Wild Orchid place that some people are talking about. That's up the street a bit. That gets you different gas. Anyway, the point is, okay,
Wow, good one.
is that
No, go ahead, Tex. No, we're just reading the comment. Oh man.
Okay.
I love it.
Point being is that Hill didn't play last week.
Yeah.
He didn't play last week. And I think that the reason why is because that he's got some injuries that really need to be taken care of. And if you the Raiders, and I said that's correct way to say
That's
that.
pretty
Right?
good. I heard 3 syllables right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Raiders went to Miami and they kept them to 20 points. And we got a better defense than the Raiders do. So we're going to keep them low on their scoreboard. And granted, we're not the greatest offensive capability, but if you keep those boys low, we got enough to win the game. Plus, we can get some defensive points.
Low and
It's
slow.
Gonna be Dallas
Okay.
over.
How about them
Fish.
Cowboys?
Okay.
And Dark Raider podcast
Yeah,
answer is
great.
absolutely yes.
See,
I'll
short
let
answer.
him answer that. It's true.
He already did. Short answer. Absolutely.
And I would go so far as to say that just because Al's gone didn't change anything.
Didn't change a thing. No.
What we talked about in the short, what we talked about on this show is that the bias is slowly attritioning out because the folks that are in control of that are attritioning out. So
right.
will it ever go away? Probably not. But
probably not.
But the folks who started this and instigated it and made it run for 30 years are moving on in one way or another. It's very difficult to get the new folks to buy into that because they weren't part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it'll go away totally, but we'll see less and less of it to a point. But
I
think
as long as
referees that don't know how to make a call.
Well, there's that, and there's also legacy referees officials. Actually, there's actually legacy officials out there who have ties because father, brother, grandfather, grand cousin, grandniece, somebody else was part of that.
I'm Ed Hockalugi, and I have relatives.
Right. So it's. I'm not saying it's gone or that it may attrition away totally, but I would say it's at least 50% better than it was before, probably a little bit better than that.
That's better than nothing.
Anyway, okay. New England, Coach B, you're going to go into Denver to take on the
Going to Denver.
The Broncos. Oh, by the way, Richie Richey said he's barbecuing and in sub-zero weather. I'm really curious how you thaw your steaks when it's that cold. But anyway,
Well, Richie Richey is he's kind of a big bear type of bastard.
he's a what?
He's a big bear bastard.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
when he takes his clothes off, the natural steam from his funky Canadian body
thaws the steaks.
thaws the steaks.
Okay.
It's heinous.
Well,
I don't need that. Just the visual of that is something I don't want to go into.
Yeah. That's a little
It
TMI
does
right there.
answer the question about who's going to win because he's going to get you back for that one.
Shit.
Yeah. So I don't see you going into Denver and beating Sean Payton's Broncos at this point. Who's your quarterback, by the way? Zappy, Crappy, Bones, Jones? Who's your quarterback?
I don't know.
Actually, if you asked who's your quarterback, he'd say no, he's from Iowa. But that's okay.
I got the Bronx in
Inside
this
joke.
I don't get that joke because I got my earphones down here and I didn't hear it real well.
Well,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's from some guy wearing zebra stripes. So it's obviously
yeah. No better way to screw stuff up than to give it from there.
Hey, all this is it's the great Bill Belichick. Okay. It's my introduction to the AFC West because again, after the season's over, I'm going to be sunlighting in LA.
So we hear.
Nobody wants to see that. You're talking about
SoFi is going to be my stadium. I have a real quarterback in Herbert that hopefully will get his fingers back together. Okay. I will bring in somebody on offense not named McDaniel because again, I saw how crappy that guy can be. You know, I'm going to bring in a real offensive coordinator. I'll take Bill O'Brien with me. Okay, I'll take Bill O'Brien with me if I can get him out of his contract.
Who?
Bill O'Brien, my offensive coordinator. Keep up with what's going on. Okay, do you not know
You're
who
dead
my
last in the league in scoring, and you want to take that OC? Go for it.
Because we don't have offensive players in New England, you schmuck.
Your players are pretty offensive, actually.
Exactly. They're not offensive minded. They're just offensive. Okay. It's all in how you say it. Offensive.
Is under center. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So it's my introduction to the AFC West a year early, kind of like what they did with the Buccaneers and the Seahawks their first 2 years in the league. Is before. By the way, this is something not too many people know that the Buccaneers started out in the AFC West.
Yes.
And the Seahawks were in the NFC Central.
Yeah.
And the next year, the second year, they swapped divisions because they wanted to have those two teams in 76 play everybody. So they made the schedule accordingly.
What's up, Speedy?
So that's what's going on. So this was my introduction to the AFC West as the great coach, Bill Belichick. I've seen all of the people in the AFC West. Yeah. It's okay. It's my introduction to Denver. And we're going to win.
Tampa Bay was in the AFC West in 76. I don't think Seattle was in the Central, though.
Yes, they were. Because they swapped.
Yes, but I know they swapped. I know that Tampa Bay was originally in 76 was in the AFC West. But Seattle was not in the Central NFC Central.
Might want to look at that.
Yeah, I think they were in the NFC West. I don't think they were in the NFC Central.
Well, for you to be correct, that would mean that another team would have had to move.
Why?
Because Tampa Bay went into the NFC Central.
Right.
Okay, where they were before they moved for the realignment. So all they did was switch divisions the next year.
Okay. Wow. All right. I'm going to look that up, though. All right. Christmas Day, we got 3 games. The Raiders.
Wait a sec. Can I leave the stage now?
Yeah. Left.
Well, good. I'm gone.
Go left. Your other left. Exit stage left.
Exit stage left, stage right even.
Oh man!
On Christmas Day, we have 3 games. The Raiders are going to go into Kansas City and take on the Chiefs. Obviously, the Raiders are pretty high after the 63 points they put up against the Chargers. I think things will be a lot different this week. The question is how much different. Where do you guys see going with this one? You think the Chiefs are going to do those ring around the rosy
Well, I'm going to be a homer.
plays, or what's going to happen?
I'm picking with my heart this time. I'm picking us in an upset in KC Christmas Day.
It's not going to be an offensive juggernaut.
No,
but the
close game, but Raiders in an upset. That's what I'm taking.
The Raiders are going to win. They're going to win. And I told you it was like when both Wayne and I picked the Raiders to win the first time against Kansas City, and they came out and they were doing it their first couple drives, and then somebody forgot. They just kind of like peeled back. I don't know why.
Right.
But they peel back. Knowing what they did last week, they're gonna come in and keep that foot on the gas pedal. They're going to win against Kansas City. Now I know it's not gonna be like that cold.
It's wet though.
It's wet. But it is wet. And our quarterback, unlike previous quarterbacks who wore number 4, aren't scared of either wet or cold because he played at Purdue outside.
Yeah.
But if we're going to beat the Chiefs, and by the way, Cap, if you're right about Seattle being in the NFC Central, I will gift you something very big out of my archives. That's how confident I am that Seattle was not.
I'm going to look for that myself, so I can start.
So if they're going to beat Kansas City, they have to stop the Emmy Award-winning Travis Kelce. How are they going to do that? Who do we've got that can do that? And don't forget Clete Blakeman's crew coming in here with Dana McKenzie, Lovan Pham, and Jonah Monroe in there.
So you're saying it's a setup already? I'm just saying.
Bonnie and Clyde couldn't set it up better.
Oh my! That's what I thought the game Thursday night was a setup. When I saw
it's going
Tobin
to be raining and wet.
Yeah, raining and wet.
You're lucky. You're lucky because I looked it up.
Oh yeah. They were in the NFC.
They had to move 3 teams then.
No, they only.
No. What I'm saying is that in order for Tampa to go into the Central, which is where they went, they had to move somebody out of that division over. So they had to move another team.
No,
it says Seattle was the AFC West. That's what I remember because we played them twice a year. We played them.
Tampa Bay was in the AFC West. Seattle was in the NFC West.
Right, but then they went over to the AFC West,
and Tampa Bay went to the NFC Central.
But in order to do that, somebody would have had to move from the NFC Central because
they had divisions that were uneven at that time. The Central had 5. The Central had 5 teams.
That's when they put them all.
Some of the other divisions, like the AFC Central, only had 4: Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Houston.
You're right.
Was that when the NFC East had 5 with the Cardinals in it?
It was an odd team. Yeah. So they even everything out.
Yep.
Okay.
They didn't do all the north, south, east, and west funky alignment until later, but while they had the 28 teams, they had some divisions that had 5 teams in it, including one of those was the NFC Central: Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings, and Bucks.
And the NFC East originally had the 4 that are there now plus the Cardinals.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And the NFC West only had the 4. Well, actually, the NFC West was San Francisco, LA, Atlanta, and New Orleans. And then when they got Seattle, they went to 5. And then they did all north, south, east, and west realignment because they only had 3 divisions. They had the north, they had the east, the central, and the west. So 28 doesn't divide by 6, at least not Kentucky map.
Damn it! I wanted something out of his.
I know.
You're gonna have to work a little bit harder for that, but the reason why I know that is because in '74 when I started collecting the Gatorade bottle caps, then they added Tampa Bay and Seattle, but there weren't any Gatorade bottle caps for that. So when I went to the Hall of Fame, they had the little helmet refrigerator magnets. Those fit perfectly on a generic Gatorade cap. And I added those two to my collection, and I had to know where to put them because I made little labels for the side of the cap. And I remember distinctly making, actually 4 labels because I originally put Tampa Bay and AFC West. Then I had to throw those caps away and redo the caps. But I was so anal about having my bottle caps be correct that I remember making the labels for the side of those bottle caps. Yeah, that's how nuts crazy I was as a kid. That's why the schedule and who was playing who was always something that I paid attention to.
Man, Doc Raider is on it, man. I love it.
The Chiefs fans are cocky right now, but they are basing their confidence on rankings, which will indicate that they haven't been watching us play. I would agree with that front. In 2001, Seattle moved to NFC West. Sounds about right.
Yeah, they came back. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Kansas City Chiefs look like collaborating all together. Yeah, well,
some kind of tampon.
Well, I would say that you guys are a little overconfident about the Raiders going to Kansas City and playing Andy Reid, who has, Raiders Week banners up all over the place. But I would
just
say
a feeling.
I would say, and I like that feeling, and I would say that if you're right about all of that, there's 7 other guys that are saying and they're all wearing one of these.
Okay, and there's the segue. Who is going to us this game?
The side judge.
Okay, and who is that?
Low Van Pham.
Wow.
I'll put it in
the
I'll put it in the chat. Low.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Okay, Low Van.
Jam.
I think I went out with his sister when I did a trip to Vietnam.
Very possible.
Bam. Okay.
I see it.
Yeah. Low Van Pham.
Well, yeah. Blakeman's not a.
He's a white cat, right?
Either. Yeah, he's the white cat.
You don't like it?
Blakeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not as bad as Torbert.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh my God, Torbert.
Oh my.
And but you know what? We got Torbert on a good week, apparently.
I don't.
Well, yeah, because we scored a bunch of points and couldn't do anything wrong. But did you see his face every time he had to, do a penalty against Kansas?
He was in pain just to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It was killing.
Well, see, that is why I said it's always 11 on 22. And you got to beat the 22. 11 on 11 plus the other 10, 12, whatever it is, refs on the field and in New York.
Yeah. I'd like to like this crew. I just don't in Kansas City. I just don't. But it is what it is. But we'll see. I hope you're right. I absolutely hope you're right.
Raiders. And again, that's not
our kind of game.
That's not us being homers.
No.
That's just,
I'm saying
that's
it because that's what's going to be said. But that's the feeling I get.
No, that's exactly. That's the feeling of confidence I think that this team has, and the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have been living on borrowed moments. They're not as good.
No, they're not.
They're not as good.
No, they're not.
No,
they're not. Is Jacobs going to play?
Jacobs and Miller playing.
Okay.
You know what? And what I would do, and I know Miss Peggy is a fan of this, I would do RBC. And I tell you what, I like Josh Jacobs, but he needs to be able to come out of the game and have other people carry the ball. First off, it's better for him in his injury, and it shows the Chiefs different running styles with different running people.
Different speeds. Yep. Use what you got.
RBC. That's right.
We got 3 good ones.
I think it'll be Chiefs 20-13.
Ooh.
I just don't think we're scoring enough points.
I say 20-17.
Okay.
or 23-20 in an overtime
Yeah,
kick.
23-20, 20-17. That sounds about right. It won't be high scoring.
Guys,
Permission
the
granted, Michael.
Michael Guerrero,
the
what's up, brother?
the Raiders are a minus 15
In this
in their
one?
over in their overall for the season in their over under. In other words, they've given up 15 more points than they've scored, but they're six. What are we? 6 losses. There's 8 losses by a total of 94 points. The Chiefs are plus 74. We're a minus 15. The Chiefs are a plus 74.
That sounds like Adrian telling Rocky, you can't win.
They're number 11. The Chiefs are number 11 in scoring, and their 5 losses are by a total of only 31 points, and only once was the double-digit accident in Denver. They lost to Detroit by 1, Philadelphia by 4, Green Bay by 8, and Buffalo by 3.
And by the Raiders by 3. Upcoming.
Yeah, okay. We've lost games by double digits 4 times.
Okay, and how many of those games was with Josh McFired as the head coach?
I like that one. Josh McFarland. Yeah.
Well,
because I think the only double-digit loss we have since AP was there was the first Kansas City game.
Yeah, minus 14. Yeah, because the visor was still coaching when we were in Miami, right?
In Miami?
Or no?
No. Antonio Pierce was in Miami.
Okay,
and
so
we only lost by one score.
Yeah.
That was a minus 7, right? Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So the Chiefs at minus 14, then we had a bye, then a minus 3 against Minnesota.
Right.
Okay, and the plus 42.
Plus 40, yeah, there you go. So
okay,
McFired, baby.
yeah. Well, you can't argue. I won't. You can't argue. Nobody can with the turnaround that Pierce has done with this team. So let's go get it. Let's go.
Damn
get
right.
it.
LFG, that's it.
Yep.
LFG.
Let's go get it. 2 other games on Christmas. The New York Giants are going to go into Philadelphia, get beat by the Eagles.
Yes.
The Eagles are ticked off right now, and the Giants just getting the Saints on a bad week. They're going to get the cheesesteaks on a bad week.
Yep.
We put the Giants on the clock in week
Way
6,
back.
and nothing's changed there. And then the nightcap, maybe one of the more
preview
That's
game.
the best game of that. Yeah, that's the Super Bowl
That's
preview
preview
right
right
there.
there.
Very well could be. The Ravens are going to go into San Francisco, take on the 49ers. I like the 49ers at home. I think Baltimore, and if they lose this game, is going to learn a lot about where they are as a football team, what it takes to win, tough games on the road. And if they do go back to Super Bowl, Jim Harbaugh is going to have a playbook for San Francisco. Not that San Francisco is obviously going to give them all their plays. They're going to give them whatever they need to win. But they're going to get a taste of McCaffrey and the defense and, Ayuk and what's the other guy?
Gesundheit.
Yeah. They're gonna, of all those guys.
Debo.
Debo. Yeah, they're gonna get a pretty good taste of those guys, and it gives them an opportunity to kind of get an understanding of where they are. Look, that happened to the Giants. They played the Patriots late in the season. The Patriots won that on their way to Super Bowl, thinking they were going to go 18-0, and the Giants are like, been there, seen this.
Right.
And I think the Patriots overlooked that. The Giants did not. And I think that I don't think if Baltimore goes to the Super Bowl, I still don't think they beat the 49ers the second time around, because I think they probably get maybe not out coached, but they probably get outplayed to a point.
Yeah.
But because I think Harbaugh's a better situational guy than Shanahan is.
He just doesn't have all the talent, though.
That's the thing. I think they've got the offense. They showed some defense. But I think that, to me, what's changed for Baltimore at this point is the running game. They're starting to get a little action going in the running game, as is Buffalo, and that could serve them well down the stretch. But I think it's tough for any AFC team right now to beat an NFC team with the strength that's in the NFC right now. You include San Francisco, Dallas in there, the cheesesteaks. There's just a lot of talent going there. And I don't know if the AFC really is 3 teams deep like the NFC is. But Ed says I think San Francisco won't show their cards on Monday. I agree with him. I think
they don't have to
they'll show right. And I think they'll
Yeah.
show enough to try to win it. But I totally agree with you on that.
like
And why
that.
would you? Because even they don't want to lose one because they're still technically trying to hold on to the number 1 seed.
That's right.
But the more important thing with this game, like any other game, is to not get somebody hurt. Baltimore doesn't want to go in there, win the game, and then lose somebody important.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Then you
10 days to prepare. Yep, that's another good point in there. 10 days to prepare for the Chiefs. That's huge. I think that's huge. And a 63-point win gives you a lot of confidence now because guys, they've seen what they can do. I understand it was the Chargers, but they've seen what they can do when they execute. Yes. Even with the Chargers, look, we've seen the Raiders in the past play way down or even under the potential of the teams that they're playing and underperform where they should have gone out and blown the socks off people
around and kept going.
They've beaten them 20-17 when it should have been 142-6. And so to go out there and cream the socks off somebody gives them an opportunity to say, look, if we go out, play our game, and execute, I do agree with you that for the first time in quite a while, the Chiefs are beatable.
Well, like I said, we were handling them at home.
Yeah, that's true.
We were handling them last year in Kansas City. 17-0.
No, that's true. That's true.
And again,
we've got the defense now.
There. Yeah, and that's the difference. That's the difference.
Sounds good. All right.
Defense is edgy. That's what I'm loving. They're edgy.
I just wonder if they've still got enough in the tank.
Oh, they do. They're a young team, man. I think the D tackle that made the touchdown, he's the oldest guy on the D line.
I think I agree with you. There's plenty of talent there. But again, this is a officiating crew that loves Mahomes. They love red. They love discount double check. They love, Ma'ato, and they love all this stuff, including the cheesesteak. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we putting Atlanta on the clock?
Yes.
Okay. Dirty Birds on the clock. Week 16. We called it. And I think that's pretty much going to do it.
Yes, sir.
For our Week 16 show. We'll be back, of course, next Thursday for a Week 17 show. It is playoff time. And, we ran long today, hour 45 minutes, but we got to learn a lot of good stuff. I think I already said it. I gained a lot of confidence in the game. I agree. I think all of the team did. And to our point before, where we could have scored more points, coaches decided to put in players, give them some game experience. Yep. I think that was better than just being able to say we got the record, because the value of the players playing far exceeds any records at this point.
Right.
The Raiders have never been about stats, so to speak.
No, just
so
win.
To speak. It's about winning.
Yeah, that's where the just win comes from. Don't worry about all that.
Well, exactly. Yep. 25 bingo crawls. All right. Anything else as we close out this week? Get ready for Week 16. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays. Yes. However you celebrate.
Happy holidays.
Happy whatever
happy
it is.
Holidays.
However you celebrate, whatever you want that to be. Lafayette says Baltimore, Bills, Dolphins, and Queens now about the Browns since the deeper 49ers. And let's see. AFC is deeper 49ers and NFC best shot to win Super Bowl. Okay.
It's gonna be the Niners with and surprisingly depends upon how that Eagles Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Niners against one of those two guys.
That's it.
I think that's fine. I would love to see Dallas and Miami. I just think for nostalgia purposes, for contrast of this and that and the other thing, Dallas hasn't won for a long time. Miami hasn't won forever. Super Bowl 8?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Super Bowl. What's 8 minus 58? 50 years they haven't won a Super Bowl. Ouch.
Just
You
like
know?
just like I used to rub it into the damn Chiefs people.
Yeah. All
You know,
right.
Yeah, I know.
They forget all
Said
that.
when was the last
From
when was the last time you won a Super Bowl? And then when they finally did, the guy used that because
yeah, I'm sure.
I kept on him about when's the last time you guys won it? So 50 years. And
Yeah.
so when they finally beat
Thanks,
the
Ed.
fake Pirates,
Yeah.
then he's like, aha, Jay, I'm
Yeah.
using that from now on. So
Yeah, from 4 to 54. That's how I
it.
remember it. Yeah. And of course, they won another one. But okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll be back next week, Thursday, our week 17 show. And then 18, 19, 20. We only have about 4 shows or so
3 or
left
4, yeah.
in this season.
Yeah.
It's the fastest 22 weeks of the year. But we hope everybody has a great holiday.
Definitely.
Stay safe. And we'll see you next week.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
letting me be your guest.
Yeah,
Thanks,
no
guys.
problem.
Keep coming back.
Right back
bro.
at you, by the way.
Keep coming back. We got that parking spot
I'm gonna
right there.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
Right
try.
there.
But I
Yeah,
gotta leave.
and bring
I gotta
the-
leave with one thing.
And bring the gas guy back next time, too. Go
The
ahead,
gas
Kevin.
The
I
gas
got
guy.
Yeah! Raiders win.
There, I was wondering if that's all you had there.
Yeah. Well, I got something else, but it's not.
We'll be back next week. You can find out what that is next
Take
week.
care. Stay tuned.
Bye,
Oh,
everybody.
man.